I'm so excited. Can you feel the energy? It's like Super Soul Sunday just came into your living room. I didn't bring Oprah with me, but I brought the next best thing from See Her Soar. You may know the great Debbie Lundberg from her many, many contributions to our community. And if you don't, I'm going to dip you into her wonderful world of absolute kindness, drive, passion, and how she is truly, not to be cliche, turning lemons into lemonade. So, first and foremost, welcome, Sister Debbie, to the table. We are so happy to have you here.
Thank you, Becca. It's great to be here. Wonderful day to be here.
I know, right? I even tried to dress sporty since you do all the health and fitness. So I was trying to represent, and of course, per usual, you look like you were just crowned with the Miss America pageant, which I would respect as well.
You look
But
great.
you're very kind. I'm recovering from a chemical peel. I can't wear makeup yet. My question for you, for anyone who hasn't been paying attention and may not know, and frankly, we have wonderful viewers all over the world. You do a lot and a lot of good stuff, but I couldn't articulate it as well as you can. So, would you be so kind as to sort of explain who you are and what you do?
Yes, thanks for asking. So, as a performance coach and the founder and CEO of Presenting Powerfully, I really get to do four things in my practice, which include keynotes and talks, strategy and facilitation, teaming and training, and then coaching from public speaking to true performance coaching, as well as executive presence coaching. So, those four things bring a lot of joy and take me a lot of places. So, I'm really enjoying it.
Well, I have to say that every day I see, you know, I love one of the things you shared with me before we started recording, which is the luxury I get that I get to chat with these incredible women in advance, is that you sort of, I don't know if it's you set a goal for yourself, it's just what you do, but I love that you run 26 miles a week. You're running a marathon a week. And I love how you explained sometimes it's 4 miles and sometimes it's exponentially more. And I just think when this world feels so big, you've taken something and shown in a very, very visible way that not all days are created equal. And I think that's just a really powerful metaphor. And did that just happen organically, or is that just something that is in part of the way your brain thinks?
A little bit of both, in that organically it came about because I'd worked out many places at the Y, at Orange Theory, at the Bar Method, at with kickboxing, you name it. I really enjoy the physical challenge and to see what my body can do and how much sweat I can get out in the morning. So during the first couple of weeks of the pandemic, when we thought it was going to be 2 weeks, then I thought, let's do 10,000 steps before sunrise and post a picture of someplace beautiful where I was walking or running. And then after 100 days and it was 1,000,000 steps, I thought, let's change gears. And 26 miles a week seemed like you said, we have a lot going on. And if you can get a marathon in a week, imagine what else you can accomplish. So it was a bit of both. And so, yes, some days are 3 miles, 3.5 miles, and others are 6.5. And if I'm shy 1 mile, I will run each of our two rescue labs around the block, which is just over a half mile. And they're very different in age. And so one runs very fast, almost too fast, and one runs really slow. So it becomes a fun way to wrap up the week.
Well, your positivity just radiates off the page. As somebody who just walked their dogs, we adopted a puppy. We have a COVID puppy. And it's like in my lap, my older lap. So um, it's like Thai yoga, the way I'm getting twisted around with those little guys. But they are a delight, and I feel really fortunate. Um, you do something in your work, and it's a cornerstone of, as I understand it, who you are as a person, how you do your business and lead it. It's just a core principle. And that's focusing on not just being nice, but being kind. and differentiating that. And you're not only using it in your work, but you're teaching others how to do that. Can you explain how you're pioneering some of this work?
Kindness is often confused or misrepresented or misinterpreted as that nice that you mentioned. And I like to tell people I'm not on a war against nice, I'm on a campaign for kindness. And the reason I say it that way is nice sometimes is holding your tongue or letting something slide because you don't want to rock the boat, or not speaking up because you think it will take too much time out of a meeting. And that may have its place. The kind person faces difficulty and does it with compassion, has empathy, thinks about the impact on others, and yet does stand up for him or herself or stand with another when that is the place to be. So the kindness effort is has really been coming together for quite a while. And then I was really fortunate that I got involved in this kindness community that Lee started, and now there's almost 25,000 people around the world, and I'm now a kindness attendant. So we attend to what people are saying and sharing to be supportive of them. And and so it's and Lee's made it kindly, the word KIND, and then her name LEIGH, which is really clever. She's also bringing some of us together from other all over and having a book called Living Kindly. So I got to write a chapter in that book about donating a kidney to somebody who I didn't really know. And then now, as you mentioned, I'm teaching a course in kindness. And that course, it's really fortunate. It's through Florida State University through the Jim Moran Institute. And I'm not an FSU grad or a Jim Moran grad, but I was really thrilled that they wanted to incorporate that with those of us adults and how important it is to have the classes called Kindness as a Leadership Trait. And so weeks over weeks, how do we build our own kindness to feel full of that enough to give kindness to others sincerely and move beyond courtesy or niceness and really get into deep kindness where we see people and respect them.
I think that is so important. And so much of my work has been in creating transformational shifts. And it really does start in that space. Uh, and so I think that will be, as a pioneer, because so few institutions of higher learning have done this, and you are really leading, as you tend to do. I think that it could be truly transformational on generational leadership, regardless of what generation you're a part of. One of the things that knocked my socks off, and I thought I knew quite a bit, but you have penned 11 books. How is that humanly possible? And can you just tell us a little bit about your wildly popular, highly revered, and hotter off the presses piece that has come out in the last year?
Thanks. Yes, 11 books. I will say that it goes back to 2007. So they've grown over time, and really out of the tips and articles I've written that I get a lot of feedback on. And some are a little bit provocative and sometimes people don't agree, and everybody has the right to that. So the first three were written early in 2007, 2008, and it was all about what I called everyday etiquette. So have a nice day is not thank you, and no problem is not you're welcome was the first book. And it led into these tips about communication, behaviors, and relationships, and how I believe everything's based in those three things. If I can communicate with you, I can build a relationship. And if I can have behaviors that coincide with what I'm saying and you expect me to do, then you can trust me. And it builds from there. So it started back there on a promise to an admin I had when I was with General Motors. Her name was Phyllis. And then most recently, I wrote Remote Work Rockstar, which is how to work and lead successfully in a virtual or hybrid environment. And it's so fun to hear people say that it changed how they did things during the pandemic. And I'm going to do an update to it, because really so much has even evolved since April of 2020, that there are tips that I do on video now that I can incorporate in it. So it's 7 chapters, and it'll get people set up. It'll get them functioning properly, feeling good, building their confidence, and connecting with others.
And what a gift for an employer to give to their teams, so they can feel supported and get some great tools and resources. So I hope that people reach out to do that, because I think that would be incredibly invaluable. Now, I am I thought it was interesting that you have done a bunch of skydiving, but you're also a competitive golfer, which I'm I think is so cool. I'm finding more and more women that are just really taking the green for themselves to get work done. And I just think that is truly, I mean, it's smart business, but it's also like, I like to see women in places where we don't necessarily expect to see them. So I like that you're pioneering that. I think that's really amazing. And I hope everybody reads your interview online, because you really took a great deal of time to articulate your values that drive your work. Um, but there's just one thing that I feel must be shared before we break up the band, and it's what 2020 taught you.
Mhm.
And I think it's really, I have loved these answers from folks, but I think yours is particularly powerful, because as we see 1 in 4 women either considering leaving the workforce or dramatically pulling back their commitments to the workforce, I think your very honest answers and the way you've spoken with such truth about how this has affected you personally and how you've chosen uh, to approach it, I think can be really inspirational. So if you'll indulge me quoting you, so I don't want to get it wrong. And it says, Debbie said, "You will never go broke by giving. And that is when you give without strings. You gain a lot in return. My business, that is nearly 65% travel, was first postponed and then canceled." That's a lot to muster. That's my add in. Back to Debbie. "Instead of curling up in a ball," which crossed my mind, "I decided to write a book, Remote Work Rockstar. Give it away to many, provide over 75 no cost virtual events to assist people working and leading remotely. Got to deliver a TEDx talk called Who Cares, which the link will be provided. And as if that wasn't enough, I donated a kidney to a local woman in Tampa Bay. While my business bank account is down tremendously, I am from the learnings of what care and kindness can do for the receiver and the giver." And I just think that beautifully sums it up. And I think you saying, I mean, it's true servant leadership. And if we want to encourage true servant leadership, which I certainly do, because I think it is critical, then now is the time to help build back up your bank account, because you can only give and give and give for so long until your cup is empty. And we do not ever want to run out of what Debbie is bringing. So it is very important that people engage, learn, support, and recognize your contributions and benefit from them, because what you're offering is incredibly powerful and important. So I am incredibly grateful to you as a leader and as a role model, but I just I think we all have an opportunity to support your work. So 2021 is your most fiscally robust year of all time.
Thank you,
I'm in
Becca.
for that. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I look forward to talking about you all day long, as a Super Soul Sunday rock star. And everybody, this woman is going to change the world. mean, arguably she already has. So if you're smart, you'll follow along because you don't want to miss the ride. She's just getting started. Debbie, thank you so much. I know you're remarkably busy, but we are honored to have you here.
You are welcome. It's an honor to be here. Thank you, Becca.